You guys, so today we're going to combine React.js with the Google Maps API. And this is what we're going to build. You can see here we've got two basic markers and a Google map. So let's get started. And one thing I want to let you know, although setting it up and doing it is not that difficult, one thing you should remember is that you need to have a Google an API key, right? You need to have an API key. The API key that we're going to use in this video, it will have expired. It's mine. It won't work for you by the time you watch this video. But one thing I will say is that it took me about 2 hours to set up a billing profile, open my account, and they had to verify my bank account, etc. So what you might want to do is save this video. I'm not just trying to get you to save it for, to help my video, but you could pause it or do whatever. Or right now, just take a look and get an overview of the process. Also, I include all of the code we need in the description down below. So all of the steps, when you see me with a bunch of code, you will be able to go below the video, and for each step, I have a link to all of the stuff you need. So you don't have to type it all out. All right, so let's get started at any rate. Okay. So first we will, you need to have Node.js installed. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that first. Okay. Go make directory, go. It doesn't matter what we're going to do in this one. Okay. So now let's go over to this link here, and you can see you're going to need to follow along here. It's GM Google Map 1, and this is the first step. The next one will Google Map 2, Google Map 3. So we're going to take all of this. And I'm going to talk about some of the different aspects of each step as we go. All right. And I'm going to hit on some things. But first, let's just get it up and running and working. So it may take just a little while. You'll notice here that I have installed Google Map React. Now be careful, because there is another npm package out there called Google Maps React. Don't use that one. Use this one. It seems a lot easier. I tried it with the other one, and it wasn't quite what I wanted. Okay, so now we should be able to open that. And you don't have to use a text editor like this, but I'm using WebStorm, and I like WebStorm. I think it's pretty good, but you don't have to use this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to make some folders. And this isn't a React course. It's not really a Node course. It's just how to combine them quickly. So we need to create some directories. src source, it must be called that. You must call it that. Then inside source, because we're going to use an image file and we are going to bundle it with Webpack, we'll do that. And okay, so here, Now I'm not going to do anything with this page, this contact page, but I like to set up Webpack so that I have multiple entry points. But we're going to skip it just to make things go quickly. But you'll see when we go through my Webpack file that I've got it set up so that if we wanted to have 2 pages, we could do that. So you guys need to create all the files I'm creating here exactly the way I'm doing it. We're not going to do a lot of stuff with those, but at any rate. So now we're going to come back. We're going to go here, and now we're going to go to GM2. And here is our Webpack configuration file. So we just want to copy that. Go to the top level. And this is a JavaScript file. Must be called webpack.config. And then we're going to paste in all of that stuff. Now we're going to go through this briefly in a moment. Now we need to create another file, and it's going to be a little different than it usually is. .babelrc, and our babelrc file is just going to be slightly different. So ignore this HTML. I have just go here, just copy this part. Now you'll see I needed to install this plugin. And with the other, there's more than one Google Maps React package out there, but for this one, I needed to install this. Okay. Now we're going to form. So here is our very, very simple React.js map application, which you've just seen. And we're going to put it in index. Okay. Now we're going to go to 5. And here is our template for our HTML page. Now we've got an image file, and it's a little different. I called it, okay. So we're going to right click on this and save it down to source images and save that there. Let's just take a look. Great. Okay. Now, as far as the Google, like I say, you guys may need to go here and get this API key, the whole bit, but let's do this. Let's come over here. And before I do that, I need to turn something off here. Just a moment. Okay. So here we're going to do npx. Now we should be ready to just build our app. But first I'm going to use the Webpack dev server, npx for execute, Webpack serve. Now this is different in Webpack 5. In Webpack 4, in Webpack 3, we didn't use this command like this, so you need to understand that that's something new to the latest version of Webpack 5 is the way this command is invoked. So we can go to localhost. We can see here it's running. Okay. So we can go here. And there's our map. Now, just to prove that we've got this going on, let's turn this to blue. And we will, because we're using the dev server, the Webpack dev server, that should immediately, yep, see now it's blue. Our hello world is blue. All right, so now let's go through some of this. First of all, what we can look at is you can see here that I have commented out this URL, this method for bringing in my image. And the reason is I had some trouble getting it to work, and I tried to debug it. It didn't. So you may notice that when you try to use images on your map, for some reason in my Webpack config, my URL loader was not working that way, and normally it would, right? So I ended up doing this. I found that I could just go ahead and import the image this way. And just use it in my, any old React component, it doesn't matter. And there's my image right there. There is the red marker. And so that's one thing you may want to be aware of. Now let's take a look at my Webpack config. If you don't already know, I have this configured so that there could be 2 pages or 2 entry points. So there is my source index right here, and it's going to, before we go any further, let's do this. Let's do Command or Control C and stop it. And let's build those HTML pages so that we don't have to use the dev server. We could do this, mpx webpack. So now we're just going to build these files. Mode development. And if you wanted here, you could put mode production to get the minified version. You could okay. All right, there we go. Now, if we do this, we could go into dist. And now if we come over here, you'll see, it has nicely built my HTML files and inserted my JavaScript. So let's do this. Oops. Okay. There we go. So now if we do this, likewise, we can get to it simply by going to our HTML page. And of course, as a PHP developer, you may know that, okay, well, I could just take that JavaScript and that HTML and put it into my PHP page, and it will work wonderfully. Okay. So we've done that. And let's take a look here. So at any rate, so there's my contact.js right there, and then it built my contact bundle, and you can see down here for my output, where is the files? Here we go. So for my template, for my index template, I have that right here. And it's going to produce in my dist folder, right here, right? So I have chosen to put this stuff there. It's going to take whatever is in source index and then produce the index file there. And likewise with contacts. This way I can have more than one page. Now I didn't put anything in these. I didn't put anything in contact, but I could have, right? Okay, so let's take a look here at the map. So the center of the map, if you pass it this variable here, center, with the latitude and longitude, and that will get you to right there. So what I did was I set the center to the same spot as my two markers. Here's my first marker right here. And here is my second one. You can see it says hello world for this one. And I could say south. And oh, I turned it off, so it's not going to update. But at any rate, so that's the center of my map. And for the zoom level, you can change the zoom level. This will zoom it in. So if I put zoom 19, it would zoom in much more. So let's do that. And we will come over here. So now, if we came over here, look at the zoom level. Let's refresh this thing. The zoom level now is way down. It's starting off much more. It's starting off much closer to your address or wherever it is your whatever latitude and longitude you put in there. It's zoomed down on it, right? Now, if you zoomed way out, if we had a zoom of about 5. We could come over and whoa, let's do that. And we're way over there. And you can see that it has already put in for my other marker, this south bit here. We're going to take that out. And with the Webpack dev server, all you have to do is save. I just saved it and it will refresh. And so there we go. We are in northern Colombia, actually right here in Barranquilla on the coast, very sunny. Okay. What else here? Okay, so the map size, one thing, let's start from the start. You have to be careful with this. I have put, okay, here's my root element where I'm going to render my React component, right? So I gave that, first in the body, I gave it flexbox, right? And I'm centering whatever is inside the body tag, right? And then I gave my root 80% and 80%. You have to be careful because your map, if you don't give it a proper size, it won't show anything. That's something you need to keep in mind. And so what I did here was I just said, all right, we'll expand my map component, which I'm returning here, my Google Map React. I'm telling it to take up or be just as large as its container. And its container is going to be the root, right? Over here, it will be this root, which itself is 80% of the viewport width and the viewport height. Now notice also, I've given my HTML and body tags a height of 100% so that they will be as tall as the viewport, which is, you know, your browser window, right? Your browser window is the viewport. And so that's important also to do that, give those a height of 100%. Now this Z index, actually you don't need that. I was trying to debug something. Let's save that. What happens? Nothing, don't worry. You can get rid of that. Okay, and that should be it. Again, you guys, the links are in the description. If you need to, you can go here. What I have a link here. This will get you started getting started with Google Maps overview. Read it carefully. Your quick start is for new users. That's you. If you already have, if you're a current user, it'll be different. But if you're a new user, go here. And here's a video here. And here for create, now the thing you're going to need to do, once you have your account, you need to set up a billing profile. And you need to attach a credit card or a bank account to it. But it doesn't mean you're going to have to pay for using your Google Maps API, right? Oh, but I mean, for testing. For testing, you're not going to spend a lot of money on that. But it took me about 2 hours or 3 hours for Google to get through the process of actually verifying my billing account, my bank account. And then they said, okay, fine. You've got it. And then there's a second procedure where you really do need to associate a project and an account with a billing profile. It's rather convoluted process, to be completely honest with you. And so I found these instructions here very useful. After you've gotten approved, right? You have to get your billing, your credit card or your bank account approved, and then you need to associate it with a project and your account, and only then can you create your API key. Okay, guys, talk to you later.